Hi, this is a quick tutorial to show you how to make a menu system that loads from a data table. So that way, when you start and stop your game, you can load the same values and you can interact with them the same way as any other element in a game, right? So it's kind of cool. There's a little kitchen builder game that I'm busy making. So how it works, very, very simple. First of all, you need to make a structure. So the fields that you want in your table, you right click and you go to blueprint, sorry, and structure. And then inside here, you'll basically specify the fields you want, right? So you'll just say add a variable, give it a name, choose a type, right? And once that's done, I'll just close that. Then you would create a data table. So right click again, you go miscellaneous data table. And when that's created, you'll see something like this, right? You have row name, which is your primary key, if you know databases, and then all the elements that you have created. So, and here you can actually start to specify the fields. So if I go over here, you'll see here I have a stove, right? And I have a title that I can change. I put a field in my data table. Let me just go back to my structure. See, I got title, min and max scale, and image, right? So I got title, min, max scale, and image. I'm going to say stove, and I put stove in there, right? And when I save it and I load, you see here now I can actually access the stove. So that's what I mean, right? You can create and save elements in a table that you can use in your game. How you visualize it is a different setup. You need to create a menu system and menu items that you'll populate with. So let's start with the item. I'll go inside here. All it is just a button. So you just type in button, and then you drag in a text right onto the button over there, and you enable the variables of these. So I called the first one item, and I call this one object title. Okay, and then you make a kind of like a parent for it. In my case, I have a vertical box and over here, but I actually want to have two rows, right? So I have a horizontal box with two vertical boxes inside it. So that way, when it populates, it will create columns. You don't have to have two, but if you want to have, two, you can do that. And how it hooks up is actually pretty simple, right? So when you do the event construct to begin, you create a variable and you make it of type data table, and you select your data table there. Then you add these nodes, right? So you get the table rows for each row inside my table. I will run through the loop. Then I'll take this get table row, and then I would over here and I'll say, break. And it breaks, and you'll see all the actual elements inside there, which come from here. So whatever I populate, it will be listed over here, and then you can use it. So in my case, I want to make that UI item that we made and populate each one. So I'll say create UI item widget, and I'll select the class there, and then I drag it out, and I'll say add a child to the vertical box, right? So I've got two, left and right. You could just have one. So I'll say add child to the vertical box, and then you link it up. And what I've done here also is that inside my item, if I go into the design over here, I made a function. So just right click custom event, and I put a couple of input nodes, item number, name, row, image, etc. as inputs. And because I have enabled, item here and I've got a button, I could change the values of that, right? So if you see here, I bring in the item name and I set my object title, which is this guy here, object title, to be the input that I provided from my data table. And the same with the picture of the button, right? So with the button, I drag it in, and then you can specify, a slate brush, and then you basically can specify the styles, and then you can set the style. And you do that to your item, which is the button. So here. And then that way you can change everything from the picture and the image, all driven from your data table here. So if I say, blue stove, if I go back here and I click play, the menu items populated, right? And you'll see on my setup here, I have a flip-flop. So I start with the left, then I go to the right, and I go left, right. So when I create the items, it goes left, right, left, right, left, right, and it populates vertically down. So that's how I do the columns. Uh, so hopefully this helped you. It's a very quick tutorial. Let me know in comments what you think, and if there's anything else that you want to see. But very, very useful for things like inventory systems, and just to persist data between different states, right? And you can use this for your game. Great. Thanks a lot.